So I wanted to come and talk to y'all real quick. I had to take a break from the work I was doing, and I wanted to come and say something real quick. So I am the mother of four beautiful children that I love so much, that are literally the light of my world. My children have never, ever been abused. My children have never been given drugs. My children have never been given alcohol. My children have never even been left. My children they don't even, they never even got left with family, barely. My mother, yes. But when I was raising my kids, I was always at home. I didn't go out much. Went to work, came home to my kids. And my eldest is 25, okay? And we are really, really, really trying to deal with as a family these people in social media who clearly, like for years, clearly have been trying to deal with their childhood trauma from their mamas, from their mamas, by projecting it onto me and my children. I never forget years ago, I was listening to one of their blog talk radios, and literally, I can't even remember what time of the year it was. We was just literally sitting there chilling. Uh, I have always loved my babies. I have always wanted to be a mom. All of my kids are loved immensely. I would die for my kids. And it's crazy that I would have to say that. Like, I've been saying that for years, but the people that we are dealing with are extremely, I can't even say that they're broken, because it would probably be a good idea if they were broken. These people seriously do not want to deal with whatever it was that happened to them as children. But I never forget, years ago, I was listening to one of their blog talk radios. And this was like in the middle of the false CPS campaign. Like, these people, literally nothing would be going on. Literally nothing. This was back when I lived on Charter Way. Literally nothing would be going on. Like, it would, like it wouldn't even be no social media drama. It wasn't even any social media drama. It was nothing going on. I didn't have to say anything to them. Do y'all know that the defects call center told me that these people, that about 100 calls that came in to the defects call center. This is what they used to do. They've calmed down a little bit on that because something is being done about that. They know that eventually they're going to end up in jail. There's been too many times where Alexis K. Tyler has had people literally drive past my house and dial 911 and place false calls. So back during that time, they was really crazy. And I don't know if some of them may have either gotten some help. I think some of them may have gotten some help, maybe. But there was this one girl that called into one of their blog talk shows. And you could tell that she was clearly either high for something or unhinged. And she was like, Jamila has Jacob locked in the closet. Like, it was so random. My kid has never been locked in a closet ever. Ever. I have never put any child in a closet. I've never locked my kids in their room. I don't even lock my doors unless I'm doing something. Now, I don't want them to just be able to come in the room. But otherwise, I don't even lock my doors in my house. Like the front door, yes. So, like, literally, this person calls in and you could tell that she was unhinged. Jamila has Jacob locked in the closet. Oh my God. Ah! And she's like screaming and hollering. Yeah. This happened probably, I would say maybe 2016, 2017. Now we've heard Alexis K. Tyler talk about her abuse as a child. We've heard her talk about her mother and how her mother abused her. I am not your mother. I am not none of those people's mother. Your mother was abusive to you. Your mother was neglective to you. Your mother did things to you that probably are unspeakable. That has nothing to do with me. And it's been going on for years. It's almost like their trauma added with their jealousy makes them say, I want to take everything that is wrong with me, everything that's fucking me up in life, everything that has fucked up my head, and I want to make it Jamila because I'm so jealous of her. Now keep in mind, these people apparently have been watching me for years. Literally, it's obvious how much I love my kids. It's obvious. And you know what? It has tore down and affected our lives. And I'm fixing it, trust me, because we're not going to carry the burden. And see, this is a collective energy that we're dealing with, which is why I call all hands on deck every single day. And trust me, it's going to pay off. This is a collective of energy that I am dealing with, of negative people literally trying to somehow make me and my children the focal point so that they don't have to deal with their memories of childhood trauma. So it wasn't them that got abused and neglected as a child. It's Jacob. It's my son. Even though my son is loved, even though all of my children were loved, all of them. My kids feel very comfortable in their home, wherever we're at. Basically, at this point, we're trying to get back to safety because obviously, me being where I am surrounded by family will help me definitely get back on my feet because these people have definitely, I mean, they have done a lot. That's a lot that I deal with. And you know what? I don't let it affect my children. I take everything. I told Spirit, I said anything that these people send, I want it to come straight to me. I don't want it to ever touch my children. They don't want to be alone in the fact that they got abused, trafficked. Tia Wilson has admitted that her mother has done things to her. And I wonder to what extent. I am not your mother. You know what I do? I send it all back to your mother. I don't have nothing to do with whatever your mother, your uncles, the perverted people in your family. I kept my children safe and at home. My kids have not been abused or beaten or molested. They don't have gunshot wounds and stab marks and scratches and bruises all over their body. That's you. All of my stalkers are adults who suffered childhood abuse and trauma. And the way they have been dealing with it is by either attacking me in social media, or they have been projecting. Some of the ones that are really ruthless have been projecting child abuse onto my children. Literally, none of this was ever existed in our lives. We live normal, happy lives before I ran into Tia Wilson, the psychopath, who is literally ahead. She is the chariot for all of this crud. It's not our fault that you went through childhood trauma. It's not our fault. But yet, this is not a good person. This is no different from a person that was molested as a child and starts molesting people. Whatever it is that these people went through, whatever it is, they want to project it onto me and mine. And you can tell that they ain't no good. You can tell that they're full of crap, because what they'll say is they'll go, oh, she's abusing her kids. The next breath that they'll say is, I hate your kids. Your kids are retarded. I don't like your kids. See what I'm saying? So it's like, first of all, you have no reason to ever, like, these people literally never, ever had any reason to think that I would ever do anything to harm my children, and they know it. They're just sick. They made up this story. This one chick on here, this one black chick, I think she lives in Georgia. She made up the most disgusting story. I just flagged this video just the other day, of where they're literally, my son was like laughing, and I was like tickling him. Like, this is what usually pedophiles do that. They go on the internet and they take something innocent and try to twist it into something disgusting. Literally used the audio from where my son was about 2 years old. He was laughing and giggling. You could tell that he's a kid. They tried to make it seem like I was doing something to him, even though you could tell in the original footage nothing has ever happened. Nothing. Not even off camera. Nothing happens to my children. But these people want it to be real because that is their experience as children. And you know what it is? It is they are, you know what? When it comes to families and children, let me tell you something. If you abuse the mother, you're trying to abuse the children also. So it's almost like they're trying to force my children to go through abuse, even though they're not. They're trying to like do some kind of abuse by proxy or something. These people are sick. Now, I just got two voicemails on my voice message, unknown caller. We know that it came from Tia Wilson. Why do people, you know what, to the real people that follow her, I think it's sick. She's not going to admit to what she's been doing on her YouTube channel. She's not. She's not. Which is why, you know what? I should put up a bulletin of this. Everybody needs to know how sick this woman is. Right after I got off of that live, I got two voicemail calls from leaving a voicemail with artificial intelligence, saying weird stuff like, we're my spirits are going to make sure that you don't ever leave Georgia until you die. Your spirits are dead. You don't have any spirits. Your spirits apparently hate you. Look at what they're making you do. If your spirits loved you or cared about you, they would have got you in some counseling or therapy. You wouldn't be doing the stuff that you're doing. Because I don't care about your hurt childhood. My only job is to protect my children. So I can't feel empathy for somebody. I don't feel empathy for you. I don't when you are trying to harm my children. None of this ever exists, Stevan. None of this, literally, this is like foreign to me. None of this ever existed in our lives until we ran into her. Otherwise, nobody, no, nothing, nothing. There's never been any. My kids did go to school, my older kids. Jacob has been homeschooled since he was born. My older kids went to daycare and school. The only reason why I pulled them out is because for some reason the stalking started when I moved from Missouri to Kansas. That's the only reason why I pulled my kids out of school to homeschool them to begin with. The three older ones, right? So, and I was working from home at that time, just like I'm working from home now. Never any school concern or nothing. Never, no reports, no nothing. All of a sudden, when I run into Tia Wilson and start talking to her and started associating with those people, and I wasn't really ever so. I mean, it's social media. Like at the time, I wasn't even really doing readings back then. If I would have threw my cards, it would have told me stay away from these people. Because trust me, I've gotten curious and asked my spirits, what if you would have told me years ago? And, because I was blindsided by it. Absolutely. Even if I have to run a flash sale, they were trying to, so literally, they're trying to hurt my business. They're trying to cast spells that ain't going to do nothing but backfire on them. Literally, I will sell my readings for $20 to make sure that these kids are taken care of. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past year. And I can't continue to lower myself. I cannot. I cannot. But you know what? I'm running a flash sale right now. Why? Because I want to make sure that me and my children are taken care of. And they can't stop me from leaving Georgia. They want to stop, and you know why they want to stop me from leaving Georgia? Because they're sick. They believe that we're some kind of hostages or something. This is in these people's sick mind. Can you imagine how these sick people talk behind the scenes? People have already exposed them for being sick, for talking about sick things. People have already been sickened by these people and the way that they talk in their groups, behind the scenes, in private. Trust me, anybody that is not demented and batshit crazy has said, hey, this is sick. This is sickening. What and the what? And it's been going on for years. I'm going to tell you why. Because mental illness is very real. And our like psychiatric care thing is just the pits. And I think that in big cities like this, I think that it's literally a joke. It's literally a joke. These people need to be medicated. They don't need to be smoking no weed. None of them need to smoke weed. None of them. Because what that does is that just puts them in a state of um the derealization. I believe in magic and spirit, but I also believe in a malformed, malfunctioning brain. And I believe in brain damage. Something has happened to these people to brain damage them. Whoever does stuff like that, and it all came from Tia Wilson. This is a fact. And I'm going to make sure that when these crimes against these people are finally prosecuted, she's going to be implicated and tried. And you know what, Stevan? I should have called down to the police station at that time where she was going through what she was going through when they almost took her to jail. I should have called down there and struck with the iron when the iron was hot. Instead, you know what she tried to do? She tried to have her son call me, and then she tried to talk to me. I don't want to talk to you. Why does this lady think that I would ever speak to her again? I don't want to ever have anything to do with you again. Ever. And you know what? I looked in the cards and I said, what does this lady think that I did to her? And I got 8 cups. She actually feels like I abandoned her. I'm not your mother. I'm not your mother. I'm not your sister. I'm not your daughter. I'm not your niece. I'm nothing to you. She's at the hub of that. I'm telling you. Is it a coincidence that I get these weird phone calls? I downloaded the voicemails. Is it a coincidence that I get these weird phone calls right after I do that live speaking about her? These people are so mentally ill that I can't even come on here and cam up without them having a mental breakdown. Literally, all of them had a mental breakdown because I went live and was on cam and cammed up. Every time I go live and cam up, they have a mental breakdown every single time. Every time I make a video where you can see me on camera, they have a mental breakdown every time. The same ones. She is very sick. I would not have any of this going on and going on at all on the internet or nor in my life if it were not for ever speaking to her. And I don't know what she thinks this is, but we are not punching bags. I am not a punching bag. And the spiritual work has already been put in. We're tired of it. We don't have to suffer because of what your mama did to you. That's exactly what they want so that they can come to YouTube and perpetrate a fraud. But she speaks about what her mother did to her. She does. She will speak about it, but she's not dealing with it. She's not dealing with it. The way they deal with it is through delusion. They project it to other people. It didn't happen to them. No, it happened to somebody that it never happened to. So my son has been subjected to literally like his clothes being removed, a complete stranger having to look over his body, literally not one bruise, scratch, kid healthy. And I am trying to support my family. I'm not going to shut down my business because of these people. I'm not going to do it. I've had to start a part-time job for a psychic hotline, but I'm getting ready to run a flash sale, y'all, because and my clients, they always come to me. They always do because they already know the deal. That I'm telling everybody and warning people, hey, Hammer Time Phone, I am warning everybody to steer clear of those people, all of them. And I don't care what they say. Because what they do is they will get your personal information and threaten you. That's exactly what they did to me. Got my personal information and threatened me. Literally, I didn't even start getting CPS calls, false CPS calls. It was in Kansas. That's when I had first started talking to Alexis. As soon as I started talking to Alexis, I started getting false CPS calls to my house. The moment I began associating with her, the moment. You think it's Talia that's doing it? I agree. I did see her in my cards. Yeah, she's very mentally ill. She's very that girl got a lot of problems. Hey, Unicali, she has a lot of problems. She does. She has a lot of issues. But I don't think that Talia was abused as a child. I think that Talia is just a very dark, sick, and twisted person. Talia is a predator. She is not a good person at all. Awful person. Awful person. She used to stalk Jacob. She would literally wait until Jacob would be on camera and she would actually repost the videos of Jacob. She's a child predator. She's very weird. Her and Pat, that chick Pat, very sick. I heard a few minutes of what of what was being said, and the other day before the show got taken down, and that was the right thing to do, to take that down, because it's disgusting and horrible. No mother should have to deal with this. No mother should have to deal with this, especially me. I mean, my whole head done turned gray over my kids, and I'm not even 50 yet. I'm gonna go gray before I'm gonna go fully gray before I'm 50, because I love my children. And I shouldn't have to live under scrutiny every single day just because you got abused as a child. Now, I suspected that it was some kind of weirdness. Like I believe that years ago, um, I believe some pedophile. Sorry, y'all. I believe some pedophile became obsessed with my son. Y'all see, I'm gonna protect my child. I am going to protect my child, no matter what. My children, all of my children, but my three oldest are grown now, but they still need protection. All my kids still, they all need to be protected from these people. I don't want to listen to people lie, but yeah, it's so stupid. And the crazy part about it, Stefan, is that they know they're lying. That's the whole thing. Like, they are perfectly aware that it is not the truth. That it is not the truth. You know what I'm saying? But they can't stop, because if they have to actually deal with whatever it is that they're dealing with from their childhood, probably will give them a nervous breakdown. Probably. I've remained strong through this process, and it's because, number one, emotionally I am very sound, and it's because I didn't grow up with abuse. Like, every now and then some weird goofy stuff would happen, to where it would be some kind of weirdness, because you know my mother, she would drink her beer or whatever, and sometimes she would get a little too drunk. But you can even tell by looking at my entire body, I ain't got no scars, none of that mess. I ain't got none of that mess going on at all. So, for years I kept telling DFACS what the deal was, you know what I'm saying? And that's very scary, because people like them will end up somehow working for DFACS. They'll end up working for them, which they don't need to be. And I think Patricia Smith or Pat Smith, somebody exposed her real name. I didn't save her real name. I don't need her real name. Trust me, God knows who she is. I believe that she works somewhere around kids and stuff. People like that are sick like that, like she needs to lose her job. Her job needs to know what she's been doing in social media. She is certifiably crazy. Certifiable crazy. You cannot work in that field. Apparently, with that kind of trauma, it tends to cause you to have head and heart fog, and you end up being biased. That's very scary, knowing that people that have been abused, like I can understand if you're a person that has a passion for protecting kids. That is what, if I ever worked for DFAS, that would be my purpose, because I have a passion for trying to protect kids from actual real abuse, right? They take jobs like that because they want to hurt kids, and they don't need to be there. So I am praying every single day. I want, I believe that that Pat Smith works for DFAX, and I think she's admitted to where she's worked at in California. She needs to be fired. Okay? She needs to be fired for her behavior. But see, she don't never reveal her location. Eventually, folks are gonna find her. And when they do that, and if I ever get that lady's name again, it needs to be reported. Her behavior on the internet. That's just like if you're a nurse, like Kat Smith claims that she's a nurse. She claims that she's a nurse, but yet, why is it that, like, back when Kat and Tiffany first started stalking me, Kat Smith came out in social media and lied. I've never met Kat before in my life, never seen her in person ever, right? She came to social media and told social media that I used to come and get bacterial vaginosis medication from her. Now, obviously, unless you're a nurse, first of all, she said that I had chronic BV, and that's totally not the truth. Okay, I think I may in my 48 years, I may have gotten bacterial vaginosis maybe like 4 times in all of these years. Literally, I don't have a long track record of antibiotics, right? I don't, honestly. Um, she came on the internet and was telling people that she wrote me prescriptions for bacterial vaginosis antibiotics. Now, first of all, a nurse cannot write prescriptions. Second of all, that's not true. She should not be working in the medical field. Doing stuff like that should get you fired from your job. So, and I know damn well that Kat Smith went through some childhood trauma because her father normalized smoking methamphetamines. I think that Kat Smith was given alcohol and drugs at a young age. Apparently, whoever raised her got her high and drunk at a young age. So that's sad. They do. They all of them need to be investigated, but I'm gonna tell you why they won't be. As you know what's sad, I look at the channel, The Misery Machine, and it's hard. It's hard. You know what I'm saying? To hear about kids that have went through that, but you know what? I feel like this. They went through hell, those kids. I ain't been through nothing. So at least just be there for them in spirit, I will, right? I hear people saying all the time that CPS failed those kids or DFACS failed those kids. But you know what? I know that it's some parents that are crazy. I know people got problems. But you know what the sad part about it is that it's the parents that need to raise their kids. It's the parents that need to do right by their kids. That's who needs to be responsible. That's who's failing the kids. And because the system for that, if kids are not taken care of at home, they not going to be. So better standards as far as with parenting need to be set. And you know what? Honestly, what irritates me is that they'll try to bring up me homeschooling Jacob as some kind of crime that I've committed while they go around the internet threatening to kidnap my child, following me around. Even if I wanted to send Jacob to school several years ago, I wouldn't have felt comfortable with it. It's not worth it to me. It isn't. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not. He learns just as well at home as he would at school. Unfortunately, and I'm not going to sit here my child in danger. My child has an actual hate club of people, of adults. My child has my youngest son, and a lot of them are black. They don't want to admit that one of the reasons why they hate my son is because he's biracial. Why y'all think? Hmm? Because I had a baby with a white man. So that's one thing. But my son has a hate club because they know that he's loved. They know that all of my children are loved. And that is where the jealousy comes in. I don't I don't want my kids. Jacob ain't never had no whooping in his life. Now you compare that, and I'm not saying, listen, hold on. But with you, I don't like corporal punishment. I think it's cruel, but you know what? It is acceptable in a lot of states and countries for parents to spank their children. Just you know what I'm saying? Like, so judge- I'm not judgmental of parents that spank their kids, okay? Because especially like my oldest kids, they would do stuff like they just wanted to play with the sockets. I would tap their hands. You know what I'm saying? Like if they do stuff like that, just tapping, just like barely tapping their hand. Hey, 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 stop that. Okay, when it's something dangerous or whatever. But you gotta compare that. These people that we dealing with have literally been subjected to beatings, getting beat, punched with fists, cussed out. I never cuss at my kids. Never. That's gonna not like if you're an adult that has those problems and you've never gotten help for it, That's going to make you jealous of a child's life. And they're still jealous. Right now, we're a little displaced right now because we don't have our own place in Georgia, and we're not because we're going home, and we have every right to leave. We're not hostages. Hello. I can honestly say that nobody has a gun to my head holding us hostage. Okay, it's just a matter of the funding, right? But it bothers them. It bothers them because their mother was mean as pistols, mean, just hateful towards them. And when you see that in comparison, I've never heard of an adult being jealous of a child. They claim that we homeless and Jacob is this and we that, but yet they're still jealous of my child. How do you as an adult be jealous of a child? How? I don't even understand that. Unicali said, but if the parents ain't right in the mind, it's not. Yeah, you're right. It's not good, especially if the parents are abusing the kids. Okay, Jamila question. You silly. Unicali, that is not an appropriate. Y'all see what Unicali asking me? Did he love you right? I'll answer that question later. This is not an appropriate conversation for that girl. We're gonna have to talk though. We're gonna talk, okay? It's really sad. Like they are dead set, and that's all. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I will protect my children. You know what? Up until the other day when Pat and Talia was starting all that mess, up until the other day, we hadn't said anything about, like, we were literally so calm and everything. Everything was going great. Because we haven't had a break from it at all. It's been literally 12, 10, 13 years of this crap. And all I gotta say is that I make sure that I sage my home. I make sure that I cover my kids with protection and love. What else can you do? The police they've never done anything about it ever. And trust me, I have filed over 200 police and FBI IC3 reports against these people. You know what I'm saying? And it's been difficult. It I wouldn't say it's been difficult, but because I make sure that and so what I want to do is hopefully just allow the kids to just forget about it. My daughters, they pretty much, they don't hear much about it at all because they're not here with us, but my son, especially my oldest son, and you silly Unicali. Especially my oldest son. You know what I'm saying? Like, he helps me deal with it a lot. He's a very strong Leo, so he helps me deal with it a lot. But this child deserves his life. These 50 and 60-year-old people in social media constantly trying to be a disruption to his life. And of course, what is somebody his age gonna do? He just wants to protect his mama. He don't even like to leave us alone. He likes to stay, and that's not fair. So when we move, it's gonna be better for him because over here in Georgia, we're just literally being followed around. Tia Wilson has stalkers all over Georgia. All over Georgia. This lady is stalking us. She is a part of their gang, stalking gang. All of them need to go to jail for that. And I believe that they're going to do it until they do go to jail. I believe that they're going to continue their stalking tactics until they go to jail or die. Or die. I think that they're going to take it to their grave. I don't believe that they are ever going to just stop on their own because they're too mentally ill. They're trying to handle the situation spiritually, but they got to go deal with their mental health first. You are clearly mentally ill. This is a fact. And you can't make me mentally ill. You know how they say mental illness is catching? Mm-mm. Let me tell you something. My mind is like a pistol. You send something negative to me, I'm sending it right back to you. You send something to my kids, I'm sending it right back to you. We don't deal with no negative energy like that. That's why my grandbobby is here. I call my grandson my grandbobby because he's a boy. Ain't that cute, grandbobby? And so he's so precious, y'all. I wish I could show y'all pictures of my grandson. I have a brand new grandson, and my daughters are just living their normal life. Me and the boys, we just want to go home with our family. Instead, we're every single day. And that dude, that bum dot, that they call bum dot, he's constantly stalking us, constantly. So he's another stalker that's mentally ill, whose mother abused him. He told me that his mother used to put him in the bathtub to beat him, wet in the tub. His mother beat the crap out of him. That's why he's so jacked up. I am not your mother. Go get mad at your mother. I can send negativity to your mama's grave. I don't care if she deceased. You're not going to put that off on us. But see, he does it in a different way. He does it very differently. You see what I'm saying? He's just abusive. And I don't listen to him at all. I noticed that he did do a show with where he's talking about somebody. He ain't talking about me because I ain't never been no prostitute and I ain't never been no hoe. So I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know anything about those things that he's talking about. I was raised very sheltered. My father was very protective. Yes, my father did have a drug problem, but that did not mean that my father was not protective of me. So, and I've talked about that. He didn't, you know what I'm saying? What? Well, Unicali, you not crazy though. Like, I think I probably remember having like maybe three whoopings in my life. Maybe, I don't know. Was you an only child or did you have siblings? I didn't hardly ever get whooped. And even though me and my mom kind of fell out once I moved, I don't know what was wrong with my mother. Yes, I do. I do know what was wrong with my mother. I ain't gonna talk about it though because it's personal family business. And but my mama, she always made sure. And even though me and her kind of got into it a couple of times when we was in Kansas, um, just whatever it was that if I needed something, my mother always was there. Whatever, when we went to go visit, she, me and my mom had a good trusting relationship. If I had to go to the store, oh, here, take the debit card. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my mother had a great relationship. She just, every now and then, she would go through what she was going through, and I know exactly what my mother was dealing with. And so, like, that's my mother. But my mother ain't never beat me. My mother ain't never let nobody hurt me. You know what I'm saying? I can honestly say when I look back at my childhood that I had a great childhood. Okay. I was the only until my little brother. was born, but that didn't stop. Oh, I'm so sorry, Unicali. I'm so sorry you went through that. Sending you hugs and kisses and stuff and healing vibes. I'm so sorry that you went through that, hon. I really am sorry to hear that. Every child deserves a parent, but every parent don't deserve a child. You know what I mean? Mm. I think that a lot of African American parents beat their kids like that. I think it's personally, I think it's generational curses from slavery, is what I think it is. It's got to be, as to why it's so normalized, because that sounds a bit extreme. That sounds way over the top extreme. You know that? Mm-mm-mm. I'm gonna get off of here, y'all, because my client is trying to call me. I'm gonna tell her to call me back. All of them got that problem, though, I'm telling you. And, Jacob deserves to just, all of my kids deserve to just have their mommy and not go through all this. That I shouldn't have to be dealing with this mess because it ain't my fault. Whatever it was, I'm telling y'all, I know that for a fact. I realized that years ago that that was happening. I don't get irritable. Alexis has tried to have a couple of different men come at me. Let a man act a fool. I'm not going to take it out on my kids. I have never once, ever, ever taken it out on my kids. Ever. They used to have her son. Sorry, I had rubbed some oil in my eye somehow. Gotta wash my face. They have had her son come out in social media and diss me, and I wasn't even paying no attention. Didn't even give a damn. Like, boy, bye. I'm not attracted to her son like that. Like, boy, bye. Like, but so I didn't care. But I mean, no matter how attractive a man is, it doesn't matter. Sorry, y'all. I rubbed some oil in my eye apparently. But they would have him come out in social media and diss and degrade me, and then the next thing I knew, CPS said like a breakup with who? Well, there was a young man. I well, first of all, and that's when I realized. I said they really believe that somebody would get upset at their family members and their loved ones over they stinking ass. Don't nobody care about y'all. Ain't no man worth that. But I can imagine that they mother, if a man broke up with him and did him dirty, probably take it out on the kids. I don't do stuff like that. I don't give a damn about no man. I was celibate for 10 years. I don't give a damn about no man. ain't no damn episode of the Harlem Horrors or whatever the hell. I don't know what they called it. Y'all, I'm starting to talk crazy. This ain't no damn episode of Sparkle. You know the man's all I got. I'm not that type of woman, and I've always been very independent. You know what I mean? I've always been very independent. Emotionally independent. Emotionally independent. You know what I'm saying? Can y'all hear me? Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah. Wow, Unicali, that's crazy. And worship to abuse you, especially the kids to sacrifice you through energy harvesting. Yeah. I don't worship Pan. But I do, but you talking about like that adrenochrome stuff to where like they abuse the kids and steal their energy and stuff. I agree with that. And a lot of these people are possessed. Don't it's sick. Mm-hmm. You right about that. You were absolutely right about that. My flesh dad only gave me one whooping. My stepdad bought all the abuse believed to my mom. Oh, she your well, I would never let I wouldn't even let the daddy whoop my kids and Frank kid do stuff like that. He didn't give spankings or beatings to kids. But I definitely wouldn't be letting nobody touch my kids. That's weird. Wow. I know I wouldn't be letting no man change me. I can honestly say that no that there's not even a father. Ain't no man ever beat my kids. I ain't even let family members do that. Cause if the kids would do something bad, which is not bad, it's just members lay their hands on kids. Don't touch my kid. I done got into it with family members before. Hey, don't touch my kid. You don't leave your kids alone with people. And when I was raising them at the my now I have to pay my own bills I'm trying to prepare to buy this. I'm not gonna sit up here and deal with this, man. Our lives, me and my life ruined because you know what I'm saying? Because these people can't get over whatever it was that happened to them. It's not my fault. It's not our fault. Wow. Wow. I'm so sorry that your mother is like that. That's terrible. That's like the ultimate betrayal to do to your kids. That's awful. Sounds like your stepdad was slow or retarded. I hate to say it that way, but I'm sorry. That's like some kind of mental retardation or something. Men that are jealous of kids, they have like it's some kind of mental slowness or something. It's got to be. Cause they don't even make no sense. You a grown ass man. Grow up. That's disgusting. I hate that. That's one of the most irritating things. You know what I'm saying? Like it's irritating. I'm glad my grandma Eve protected me one morning when I woke up. When I woke up, my girl felt she thought my stepdad was gonna touch me inappropriately. Wow. Mm. Oh, did you mean my gut felt? Mm. Well, I'm there for anybody. Anybody that was abused as a child, I am there for you. I am not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the people that stalking me. Y'all good. Okay. And anybody that's watching me that was abused as a child, I send love and peace to you and tranquility and cyber hugs and just all this stuff and healing energy and everything. But these people that are stalking me, man, they have turned into what they hate. That's a fact. Whether or not you're doing it to hate that in me, on my kids. If y'all notice, y'all don't never hear me talk about. I mean, when my kids was little, I would complain a little bit and be like, "Boy, them kids sure did tear up my house. Well, them so bad. My kids be acting bad sometimes." Since my kids, when kids get a certain age, it changes. The energy is different. So you don't go and betray your kids and talk about them like that. I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in that. Excuse my language. I just don't believe in that. So people rarely know if I have any problems with my kids. People rarely know. And you know what? That's my responsibility. Those are my kids. It's my responsibility to handle that. That's all me right there. It's my fault. As the parent, I take full responsibility for if me and my kids have any problems, I got to deal with it. And see, that's what a lot of these abusive parents will put themselves in the place of the child and put the child in the place of an adult. And you don't do that. Regardless, even when they get older, those are still your kids. Not your parents when they get, you know what I'm saying, when they get older. So a lot of them got that issue too. Yeah. Dang, she was in a wheelchair. Good grief. Mm-mm-mm. That's crazy. That's the one thing I can't stand is an abusive person or especially an abusive man. But women can be abusive too. You know what I'm saying? And I had never ran into really an abusive. Well, actually, there's a few of them in my family, not my mother, but I had never dealt with like just conniving, evil, evil women, evil. Just want to try to hurt somebody somehow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's so good that you had your grandmother there to get you through that. Because a lot of kids don't have nobody there to help them get through that. You know what I'm saying? So you was lucky you had her. Or either sometimes the grandma be joining in. Some people just get a kick out of abusing little children. They just don't like little children or whatever. They just feel like they there to uh abuse, and it's sick. I my heart goes out to anybody that's been through that. You know what I'm saying? That's sad. So anyway, y'all. Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna run a flash sale today to make sure that me and the kids are good. But I ain't about to run no. I think I am gonna deeply discount some of my spell work, but I have to be careful doing that because what can end up happening is that if I don't charge you enough, I'm not covered as far as like, expenses that I need if I have to make offerings and for some, to make sure that my supplies, are there. So I have to be careful with that. But I'm definitely running a flash sale on my readings today. So, I'm right now I'm doing the best that I can, and people running behind me. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, go get some therapy. It's like they're trying to turn me and Jacob and my kids into them as children. It's sick. And I know that everybody witnessing that can see that clearly, you know? Just talking about it, having to speak about it irritates me. Especially, the living arrangements. I don't have the privacy that I used to have to talk about it, and these adults know that my kids can hear everything that I say. They want to send me and my children through the same trauma they went through, basically. That's a fact. That's a fact. How dare you not be traumatized with me? So basically what I've been doing is just doing the best I can to, just create a, just a positive, happy environment for the kids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, while I'm dealing with trying to get back home or getting back home, like, please believe that I make sure that I fill up the household with sunshine. Just try to make sure that my kids are not miserable. They're not. I refuse to do, and I bet that these people think that they're making us miserable. You are sadly mistaken. I would never give you the satisfaction. What we do is we band together as a family and we fight. We fight that off and we transmute it. And you can never hurt my family. You can never hurt my family. Yeah, I definitely need to make it back home to get away from Tia. She's a nutcase. And she knows a lot of people that are involved with prostitution, sex trafficking, drugs, the street life in Georgia. She's a disgusting individual. And I know it has something to do with her. I know it does. They should have took her to jail that day. That day them police came to her house, they should have took her to jail. She still ain't. She thinks she can do whatever she want to do. She thinks she's above the law. You know? So, anywho, my suggestion before I go, y'all, I'm just gonna tell these people, listen, you're gonna end up mentally institutionalized anyway. You need to be there. You need to be institutionalized. You need to go get counseling and therapy. And you know what? You're never going to get satisfaction off of attacking us ever again. That's why you do it all the time, because it used to give them some kind of satisfaction until I cut that off. Yeah, you know what I did? I did work to make sure that the more and the more that you try to project your crap and your mama's crap onto me, that you just become more miserable and sick. That's what you deserve. I don't care about your childhood. I don't care about their hurt child. That you're an adult, you know better. My job and responsibility is to protect energetically and in every other way. Yeah, yeah, me too. I would love, well, I would love to live in an area where it's like, you know, yeah, I hear you on that, Unicali. And another thing, Stevan, they are afraid of me going back to Kansas City because they believe that when I go back, and if they continue to stalk, they believe that they're going to end up in jail. You're going to end up in jail anyway. What difference does it make my location? Eventually, eventually. And so that's why they keep doing it, because subconsciously they know they headed to prison. So they figure they might as well just get it all in. Go ahead, go ahead. You're gonna end up in jail. Me going back to Kansas City ain't gonna make it's not gonna make it, because Kansas City, Missouri police don't play that crap. They will follow up on it. When we lived in Grandview, Missouri, years ago, when they first started that crap, the police, they were shocked because they lived in places where they had never been questioned for their harassment of people on the internet. The Grandview, Missouri Police Department contacted them and said, "Can you stop contacting Jamila?" And they was like, "Oh, you could just tell." Because, I could see back then, I could see them just being like appalled. Like literally, like, oh my God, the police actually said something to me about stalking people. These people been getting away with it for years. I can imagine that when they were growing up, when they were kids, they were bad as hell, probably made a lot of prank phone calls, probably created a lot of mischief and a lot of chaos with the people around them and in their neighborhood and in their communities. And they're still doing it as adults. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The Kansas City to me definitely is better than Atlanta, because in Atlanta, the crime of stalking is just not taken that seriously. It's not. It's not really concerned at all. But they did just make dropping documents illegal in Georgia just in July. They made it illegal. If it's prosecuted, if it's actually prosecuted, because a lot of these laws that they create in Georgia, they don't even follow them. People move to Georgia. I believe people move to Georgia so that they can get away with committing crimes. It's that corrupt, it's that lax, and it's like probably a backlog of that stuff. So they probably, you know what I'm saying? They don't really have a lot of time to follow up on all of it. But let me get off of here, guys. I gotta go. But that's exactly what's going on. And I'm just gonna continue to ward off your negativity. You're not gonna hurt my children. And trying to stigmatize them because they don't want the stigma. They want to pretend as though, A lot of them want to pretend as though, oh no, I was loved as a child and I was this and that. But you want to try to stigmatize my child. Ridiculous. All of my children. I remember one time Cat Smith came online. It was like, Shawnee's children have had a horrible life. Like, no, that's actually not the truth. She's talking about herself. Cause I'm sorry, her father looks like an old drug addicted idiot. Goddess only knows what her father did to her, or even if that's her real father. So, it's crazy. But anyway, y'all. And then not to mention the fact that they found a home with Tommy Sotomayor where Tommy came on there and made it look like all black women just abuse their kids, which we all know ain't the damn truth. I'm so glad he ain't around no more on YouTube with that stupid stuff. He just it was too much stereotyping. It's like, well, you can't just put that off on everybody. But see, he's very traumatized. And I'm just like, ugh, I hate the fact that I ran into any of these people. Oh my God. I'm trying to remember when, I don't remember the first time I ran across Tommy Sotomayor's channel. It's a lot of black mothers that didn't do nothing but love and dote on their kids. So that's a lie. It's a very harmful stereotype that is stupid anyway because it's not even accurate statistically. When you look at the statistics, it's not accurate. Have a good day, Unicali. Have a good day, sweetie. Hugs and kisses to you, Unicali. I'll see y'all later, okay? Y'all have a good day. All right, love you guys. Bye.